AEW Dynamite on the air September the 24th, 2025. Tony Khan made a very special announcement, which is that they're introducing women's tag team championships, which I think most people expected him to announce. Their women's division is really poorly booked. It's also kind of understaffed, but they're going to give them an opportunity to expand. I think this is Tony Khan cratering to pressure from fans to create reestablish the women's division. I don't think the women's division is strong enough to have a tag team championship, but he's going to give it a try, and I'm not going to knock him for trying, but it's just another thing that's going to end up on Collision. Just like the trios titles were a thing for a while, and then he lost interest in it. The international title was a thing for a while. He lost interest in it. I could see the women's tag team titles being interesting for like the first maybe 2 months, and then he's going to lose interest in that too. It's not the championships, it's the booking. You have to fix the booking. I don't care who the first champions are going to be. The idea of people sitting around saying, ooh, it's going to be Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. That's stupid. Why is Megan Bayne in a tag team? I don't get that. But it might have been the impetus to take the title off of Toni Storm is to put her in a tag team to elevate that division almost immediately. It could be the best way to do it. And also get her to give somebody else the rub and she can elevate them too. That might be why they took the belt off of her. But just want to plant that seed. But other than that, I really don't care about these women's tag team titles. It's not my cup of tea. And AEW's women's division is not strong enough to carry it. Let's get into the rest of the show, however. So Hang person Adam Page says he wants to fight the best person in the city of Pittsburgh. So clearly he's going to wrestle Britt Baker. Nope. He's wrestling Lee Moriarty. They did a video package for Lee Moriarty, which is great. Thank you. I've seen him wrestle before. I watched him wrestle in Ring of Honor, but I know who he was. Not the point, though. They did a good job of actually educating the audience about Lee Moriarty. Now, it's just highlights, but that's better than what they usually do. It was better than what they was doing years ago. So, they didn't explain what Tiger Style is or why he wears a lucha mask and takes it off. I still don't understand none of that, but it was fine. It was a fine, perfectly fine affair. That Hang person won with the dead eye, and that was that. That was the whole of the situation. I guess it's better than nothing, I suppose. The Gates of Agony wrestled for the tag team championships against Brodito. That would be Brody King and Bandito. And they lost. So the guys who beat the Hurt Syndicate just a couple of days ago, now they turn around and lose to Brodito. How can you ever get any momentum when this is the decision making that is going on backstage? You booking these two guys to go toe to toe with Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. And you want Lashley and Shelton Benjamin to be challenged by these guys physically. Why is one of them taking a 21 plex from Bandito? I don't get it. Anyway, either way, they were supposed to wrestle for the trios titles, but brain guy can't wrestle. Apparently, you could take his brain out and put it back in, but something happened to him and he can't wrestle this week. So they didn't get to wrestle for the trios title. They got to wrestle for the tag team belts and they lost anyway. They didn't even have the Hurt Syndicate cost them the titles. Nothing. They just went out there and lost. That sucks for them. Bad creative. Bad ideas. All right. So they did a segment with Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron where Chris Statlander was visibly annoyed by Harley Cameron and all her emoting. I mean, making the weird noises and face paint and all that stuff. It was very off-putting. I got to say, as beautiful as Harley Cameron is, she got too much personality. She got too much energy. I certainly would probably put her in a corner somewhere and tell her to sit her ass down. Anyway, Chris Statlander says she loves Mina, but somebody has to be her first. And Mina Shirakawa wrestled Chris Statlander in the main event. They main evented this show. And Chris Statlander, of course, won. Because why wouldn't she? This was a women's championship match, and she just won the title. So if you're counting, that's 2 Ring of Honor champions, because Lee Moriarty is the pure champion in Ring of Honor. He lost clean to Hangperson Adam Page. Mina Shirakawa is the women's television champion. I think it might even be an interim title. But she lost clean too to Chris Statlander. So how about them Ring of Honor belts? What does those things mean? They don't mean nothing. Either way, Chris Statlander won the match with the seatbelt pin, which is Wheeler Yuta's special move. Wheeler Yuta jumps in the ring. The rest of the Death Riders come out there. Wheeler Yuta gives her a big old hug. He's very small. She's kind of big. I'm like, are they doing a Dominic Mysterio? Is that what they're about to try to do here? I was disgusted by it, to be quite honest. I know it works, but Wheeler Yuta, can we get rid of that fucking guy, man? Like, he's totally boned. I can't stand Wheeler Yuta. In the event, the fans are booing because they think that Chris Statlander is about to join the Death Riders. Then out of nowhere, Statlander clotheslines Wheeler Yuta, gets a huge pop. She then gets in Moxley's face and gives him the middle finger, just like she's got it like right on his chin. Like it's so close he can't possibly even see it at that point. And then she flees. She jumps out of the ring and runs up the ramp. Not the ramp, but the stairs, and she's standing amongst the people, giving Moxley the middle finger. And he's stunned and confused, like, what's going on here? Noted, Jon Moxley was set on fire Saturday night. There's no ill effects to him being set on fire. No bandages. He's not covered in creams or ointments or nothing like that. He's perfectly fine after being set on fire. Note that. Because what they're about to do next is play with more fire. So, as Chris Statlander flees, here comes Darby Allin, and he's got a flamethrower. So Moxley is not afraid of the flamethrower. He jumps out of the ring, and Claudio's trying to hold him back, like, oh no, man, just chill, don't bother this guy. He's crazy. He's got a flamethrower. He's crazy. And so when Darby finally starts getting close to Moxley and he's shooting off the flamethrower, Moxley backs up and he actually trips over the stairs, which, was funny. It showed a little bit of fear, which is what we should want. And again, Moxley is showing no ill effects to being set on fire just a couple of days ago. There's no trauma whatsoever for him getting set on fire. Anyway, Moxley finally puts a healthy distance between him and Darby. Darby gets on the mic and says that he's never going to go away, and he challenged Jon Moxley to a I Quit match at the Wrestle Dream. He wants an I Quit match. I quit. How about that? I lost. You win. I quit. How about that? Jesus Christ, man. Statlander versus Mina was not bad. Mina put up a pretty decent fight. I don't know why. I don't think this needed to be the main event, but it was fine. Fine. Just a whole bowl of fine. Edge, backstage after All Out, was very frustrated and frazzled after FTR apologized his wife. He put his stuff in his bag and he told Christian he's not sure he's coming back because this wrestling thing is starting to affect his family. And Christian looked at him and says, I don't have a family left, so you should go take care of your family. And he offered Edge his hand, and Edge said, well, no, you still do have family. And they shook hands. Now, there's been a lot of talk that, Edge is leaving now. He's going on vacation or whatever. Edge is not leaving AEW. They just did an angle where his wife took a pile driver. He's coming back. All right. The idea that he's not coming back is ludicrous. So don't think for a second he's not coming back. This is just a really good character moment from a disturbed husband who thinks that he's at fault for what happened to his wife. Then we immediately go into the storyline of FTR and Dax and Cash and how they don't want to take responsibility what happened to Beth. Cash says he can't sleep at night because of what they did. And that he only wanted to win the match and end the careers of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And he said this is Edge's fault for bringing her into this. He might as well have dropped her on her head himself. Dax said he will never apologize for what he did to Edge or Christian, but he never would have hurt Beth. He says that Beth hit him in the face and his broken nose and it watered his eyes and he thought it was Edge. He never hurt a woman. And then Stokely called Beth a bitch, or he was about to. And all of this is happening. And then Willow Nightingale comes out. And I'm like, okay, that's unexpected. What is she doing out here? And she gives this big speech. And I'm not going to lie to you. Some of it is actually quite good. She's not a bad promo. For instance, when she started the promo, she says, if you guys wrestled as good as you lie, you would have won on Saturday. But that was very good. I like that. And then she goes into this big feminist thing about Beth Phoenix, and the women like Beth has inspired her to come back from a broken neck. Women like her has opened up doors for them to main event and for them to win championships and for them to do all of these things. And it's women like Beth, they're the reason we don't have to take shit from guys like you. Big pop when she went there. She said that you guys want to apologize with some sincerity, find these cameras, and try it again. I gotta say, I like this promo. I like this girl, you know. She's forceful. She's standing on something. She's out there by herself, standing up with all of these guys. And despite the feminist messaging, I liked the way she put things together. It was very well done, I have to say. So Stokely gets on the microphone, says that it's 9 o'clock or something thereabouts, and it's past Willow's bedtime. She needs to go watch some episodes of Proud Family or something like that. And she's about ready to knock his block off. And then Jet Speed jumped in the ring to help her, and they took out FTR. So Jet Speed is inheriting the beef of Edge and Christian because Edge is going to go away for a while. Fair enough. Again, I think Willow Nightingale did a good job here. I think that her and Statlander were the two most underutilized women in AEW. And now that Statlander is the world champion, it's just Willow that I think is the most underutilized. And she's a natural babyface. There's not too many people out here who are natural babyfaces, but she's got it. She should be near the top when it comes to babyface females. Now, in terms of FTR's promo, obviously it was a heel promo where they refused to take responsibility for their own actions. That being said, however, I felt like it was too long. You know, it just felt too long to me. MJF cut a promo while sitting on some stairs. He's angry at himself. He's saying he used to be the guy. He used to be a star. These guys like Ospreay and Swerve used to be in his shadow. He used to be in his dust. Now he's in theirs. He said that something is missing. He's trying to face himself, trying to force himself to snap out of it. And he said he's going away, and he's going to go away until he figures it out. And he won't come back until he's the most dangerous version of MJF you've ever seen. So on this same episode of Dynamite, Edge told you he's leaving and he's not coming back. And now MJF has told you that he's leaving and he's not coming back. On top of all the people who got injured and can't come back. And people who are who had surgeries and such. Who am I supposed to watch on this show? Like, where are your stars going? Why is your stars constantly leaving? What is happening here? You're not even writing these people off with like power drivers or injuries or anything like that. They're literally telling you, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back until, like, what? You can just quit your job partially? You can partial quit? I quarter quit. That's what I do. I quit for, I don't know, 3 weeks and I'll be back. Like, how do you do this? How you do that? Why would Tony Khan, why would anybody who's running a company let so many stars be off the air at the same time? Knowing that you have Ospreay and Swerve off the air, you should want MJF and Edge to take up more of that time. Absolutely. Now telling people that they won't be there, who the fuck is going to be there? All right, so I can tell you who's there. Mark Briscoe, Hologram, and a returning Orange Cassidy took on Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero. My favorite gimmick, one of my favorite gimmicks in AEW, is Don Callis' paintings. And he was going to unveil a new painting, a new masterpiece. But when it was rolled out there, it turns out it was just Orange Cassidy in a box or something like that. And Rocky Romero ran down the ramp because Don Callis was like, you ruined my painting. You ruined my painting. Go get him. So Rocky Romero runs down there and like a goon in a 1920s movie, he is completely ineffectual. He ends up getting swerved and he goes through the painting and it tips over and everything and he never comes back. So they have this 6-man tag, but I'm not even going to pretend that I watched, in which Hologram won the match. And now his winning streak is 34-0. That's his winning streak. Kyle Fletcher comes out after the match and says that he proved that he belonged in the main event. He's going to be a world champion one day soon. But he says that Hangman was right. He woke up feeling the most defeated he ever did. And he looked in the mirror and said he's well on his way to be the greatest TNT champion of all time. He then said that he called Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Hologram dorks. Then said he challenged Hologram, and the reason why Hologram is 34-0 is because he has not faced Kyle Fletcher. So then he challenged Hologram to a title versus streak match next week on Dynamite. Fine, that's fine. The 6th anniversary of Dynamite too, by the way. That's fine. The problem here is nobody gives a damn about Hologram and his streak. Nobody cares. All right? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Hologram won 34 matches, and nobody gives a damn. Jurassic Express had a video, and in this video we've seen that apparently Jack Perry is Jamaican because the guy is a welder, he's a nurse, he's a truck driver, he drives a school bus, he does everything. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't care about the Jurassic Express. Who gives a shit? Now I tried to watch Claudio Castagnoli versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Big fan of both guys. I like Powerhouse Hobbs. That's my guy. I tried to watch this thing. But this match was dry as a bone. Claudio, my goodness. It's Claudio's fault. Now, I'm going to blame Claudio. Why? Because a lot of Claudio matches end up like this, where nothing is done wrong, but it's almost like it's just there. You know? There's nothing to it. There's very little energy, not a lot of excitement. I don't know. Like, there was a time where this guy was one of the best in the world, and he still might be, but he can't hold my attention for shit. And I wanted to watch this. Can you understand how it feels to want to watch something and you just kind of like, oof, my goodness. It would be nice if there was something to grab me here. It's nothing. Just nothing. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Hobbs. I let you down. I probably only watched like a quarter of this match. I tried to watch more, but I couldn't take no more. Near the end, the giant elf, Pac, reared his head. His very small head. His head is even smaller than you think when you see that he ain't got any hair anymore. He distracted Hobbs. This led to a European uppercut in a small package or thereabouts for Claudio to win. I was, of course, disgusted, but it's the Death Rider. It's just heel stuff. What can you do? After the match, Yuta and Garcia jumped Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. It was disgusting because Samoa Joe chased off Moxley and Claudio only to get beat up by Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. So they set up a 6-man tag next week. I forgot. Hang Person. He came down there and he helped by beating up Wheeler and Daniel Garcia. So you got something. Hang Person he's the hero of the story, I guess. Look, I feel like I've seen every iteration of every trios match possible in AEW. They throw a trios match on every single card. Next week's main event is going to be a 6-man tag. It's like Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs and Hang Person versus Moxley. I think Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta, or Daniel Garcia and Claudio. I don't know. But I'm not interested in seeing it. It didn't light my fire. And this is Dynamite. This show is dry. This show sucks. My goodness. The thing is, they're trying to spread the ball around a little bit, bringing in Mina Shirakawa and Lee Moriarty and bringing a hologram up to the show. They're trying to spread things around, but these shows are painful. It's really, really bad once you don't have Edge, Christian, MJF, Tony Storm, Mercedes. None of them are featured on the show. None of your stars are present, especially right after your pay-per-view. The Hurt Business, not there. My God. No Kenny Omega, no Swerve, no Ospreay. My Lord. Who the fuck do you got? Well, I guess your world champion showed up for a moment, and I guess these people consider Okada a star. Come on, man. There's nobody on this show to watch. There's nobody on this show that you can take a bite into and say what they're doing is interesting. Even if you had somebody like me, Powerhouse Hobbs, right? Or even Samoa Joe. What are they doing with these guys that's supposed to be intriguing? Nothing. They're tied up in Death Rider shit. Either they're tied up in Death Rider shit or they're tied up in Don Callis family shit. None of that's interesting. Okay. Tony Khan needs to, he's got to make new stars, man. Especially if these guys don't want to be around. You got to make new stars. You got to try to put some new people in new chairs and shake the deck up a little bit, you know? Otherwise, these shows are going to be incredibly painful to sit through. And they were already not great. But now they're worse because the only good talent keep disappearing after every pay-per-view. You know? It's just bad. But let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
MagMongoSlade. Best house I ever drew, daddy.